What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you do not want to miss what I'm about to tell you today. Seriously, this is huge. Like, huge. We're talking about BTS. We're talking about their comeback. And we're talking about some major tea that RM just spilled about Jimin and the Arirang music video. So grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's dive into this because ARMY is absolutely losing their minds right now, and honestly, I totally get why. Okay, so before we get into the main story, let me just set the scene for you. BTS is coming back on March 20th, 2026 with their album Arirang, and if you've been living under a rock and somehow don't know this, let me catch you up real quick. This is their first full group comeback after all 7 members completed their mandatory military service. We've been waiting for this moment for literal years, and the hype is absolutely insane. Pre-orders are already breaking records left and right, and we haven't even seen the full music video yet. We've only gotten teasers, and those teasers alone have racked up millions and millions of views in just days. The excitement is real, people. Now here's where things get really interesting. Just a few days ago, BTS held a press conference at the HYBE building in Seoul. Pretty standard stuff, right? The members were answering questions about the album, talking about their creative process, sharing stories about what it was like working together again after being apart. Everything was going smoothly until one reporter asked a question that changed everything. They asked about the distribution of screen time in the title track music video. And let me tell you, the way RM answered this question has sent shockwaves through the entire fandom. I'm talking millions of tweets, trending hashtags worldwide, reaction videos everywhere. It's been absolutely wild. RM, being the incredibly honest and thoughtful leader that he is, didn't dance around the question. He didn't give some vague, diplomatic answer. No, he straight up confirmed that Jimin has the most screen time in the Arirang title track music video. Just let that sink in for a second. The most screen time, not just a little bit more, but significantly more than the other members. And before anyone starts panicking or getting upset, let me explain exactly what RM said and why this actually makes so much sense when you understand the creative vision behind this comeback. According to RM, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is pretty much exactly what he said, the visual narrative they created for the Arirang music video required someone who could convey incredibly deep and complex emotions through subtle expressions and movement. They needed someone at the center who could carry the weight of a story they wanted to tell. And in RM's words, Jimin was the perfect embodiment of what they envisioned for this particular comeback. Now, if you know anything about BTS and how they operate as a group, you know that these guys don't make decisions lightly. They're not just randomly picking who gets more screen time based on popularity or favoritism. Everything they do is intentional, everything serves the art, everything has a purpose. Let me break down why this choice makes so much sense artistically. Arirang, the album and the title track, is named after Korea's most iconic traditional folk song. If you're not familiar with Arirang, it's basically this beautiful, haunting melody that's been passed down through generations in Korea. It represents longing, separation, hope, and the journey of the Korean people. It's deeply emotional and culturally significant. Now, BTS is taking this traditional song and reimagining it for the modern age, blending the old with the new, honoring their roots while pushing forward into the future. That's heavy stuff, right? That's not just another catchy pop song. This is BTS making a statement about identity, heritage, and where they come from. To convey all of these complex themes visually, you need someone at the center who can communicate emotion without saying a word. You need someone whose face the camera loves, whose movements tell stories, whose presence commands attention without overpowering the narrative. And if we're being completely honest here, Jimin has always been that person for BTS. Think about some of their most iconic music video moments. The blindfold scene in Blood, Sweat, and Tears. That was Jimin. The ethereal, almost heartbreaking performance in Black Swan. Jimin absolutely killed that. The contemporary dance sequences in various music videos where you literally cannot look away. Yeah, that's Jimin's specialty. Now, I want to address something before the comment section explodes, because I know there are going to be some people who might feel upset that their bias isn't getting as much screen time. And I totally understand that feeling, I really do. We all have our favorite members, and we all want to see them shine. But here's the thing about BTS that makes them different from a lot of other groups. They've always operated on a principle of giving different members prominence based on what serves the song and the concept best, not based on some rigid equal distribution system. In Spring Day, Taeyong had significant focus because his deep voice and emotional delivery perfectly matched that song's vibe. In Idol, J-Hope's incredible energy drove so much of the visual narrative because that song was all about confidence and power. In Dynamite, they made sure every single member had their standout moment because that song was about joy and celebration. This isn't about favoritism, and it's definitely not about thinking one member is better than another. This is about recognizing that different concepts call for different approaches, and the members themselves understand this better than anyone. RM made it very clear during the press conference that this decision was unanimous. All 7 members sat down, discussed the storyboard, talked about the emotional beats they wanted to hit, and collectively agreed that Jimin should be the visual center of this particular story. That's not one person making a unilateral decision. That's a group of artists who know each other intimately, who trust each other completely, and who prioritize the art above everything else. Let me tell you about what we know so far about the actual music video, because the details that have been leaking out are absolutely insane. First of all, the production budget is rumored to be somewhere between $3 and $5 million, which would make it one of the most expensive K-pop music videos ever made. We're talking elaborate set designs, traditional Korean architecture recreated with incredible attention to detail, cutting-edge special effects, practical locations all across South Korea, and a wardrobe department that apparently custom-designed dozens and dozens of outfits specifically for this video. And get this, Jimin alone reportedly has over 20 different costume changes throughout the video. 20! Each outfit is supposed to represent different emotional states and different aspects of the narrative arc that his character goes through. People who have had early access to snippets of the music video are describing it as cinematic brilliance. We're not talking about a typical K-pop music video here. This is apparently more like a short film. It was shot across multiple locations in South Korea, including rural villages that hold historical significance and the ultra-modern cityscapes of Seoul. The whole visual concept is about juxtaposing tradition with modernity, old with new, past with future. And Jimin appears in nearly every major scene, sometimes as the sole focus, sometimes as the emotional anchor around which the other members revolve. There's apparently this one sequence where Jimin performs a contemporary dance routine that incorporates elements of traditional Korean movement, filmed during golden hour in a field of Korean cosmos flowers. Just imagine how beautiful that's going to look. This scene alone reportedly took 3 days to shoot and required Jimin to perfect incredibly intricate choreography. The choreography for the Arirang title track is supposed to be among the most challenging that BTS has ever attempted, and here's something really cool. Jimin actually played a significant role in developing it. He worked alongside their longtime choreographer, and they brought in consultants who specialize in traditional Korean dance. Together, they created movement that honors the past while pushing into the future. According to sources, the choreography has 7 distinct sections, each corresponding to a different member, but all connected through Jimin's continuous presence as a through line. One dance analyst who got to see rehearsal footage described it as watching 7 individual stories being told simultaneously, while one narrator moves between them all, connecting everything together. And that narrator is Jimin. Now let's talk about the fan reaction, because oh my god, the internet has been on fire. Within literally hours of RM's confirmation at the press conference, the hashtag JiminArrng Center started trending worldwide. And I'm not talking about just trending in Korea or just in the K-pop community. This was trending globally, accumulating millions and millions of tweets. Fans were sharing their excitement, creating prediction threads about what Jimin's increased screen time might mean for the music video's narrative, posting compilation videos of his previous standout moments in BTS music videos. The energy has been absolutely incredible to witness. What I find really interesting is how RM chose to reveal this information ahead of the music video's release. Think about it. He could have just let the music video drop and let fans discover it for themselves. But by confirming this detail now, he's building anticipation in a very specific and sophisticated way. He's not just asking fans to watch the video. He's asking them to watch how Jimin carries this narrative, to pay attention to the details of his performance, to look for the emotional beats that the increased screen time allows him to develop. It's treating the audience as intelligent consumers of art rather than just passive viewers. And honestly, that's very on-brand for RM. He's always been incredibly transparent about creative decisions, always inviting fans into the process and helping them understand that every choice serves a larger artistic purpose. The music video director, Young-Suk Choi, who has worked with BTS on multiple projects including some of their most critically acclaimed videos, gave a brief interview about working on Arirang. He described Jimin as an actor's dancer or a dancer's actor, someone who exists in that rare space where technical skill meets pure emotional authenticity. Choi said that when he was blocking scenes for the music video, he found himself naturally drawing focus to Jimin because the camera loves him in a way that's difficult to quantify. It's not just about being photogenic, though Jimin absolutely is. It's about the way he inhabits a moment, the way his eyes tell stories that words cannot express, the way his entire body becomes an instrument of emotional communication. For a music video that's trying to capture the soul of Korea's most beloved folk song reimagined for the modern age, having that kind of performer at the center isn't just a good choice, it's essential. This isn't background dancing in a club scene. This isn't just looking pretty for the camera. This is serious acting, serious dancing, serious emotional heavy lifting. And Jimin has proven time and time again throughout his career that he can handle that level of responsibility. Let me also touch on what this comeback means personally for Jimin, because I think that context is really important. In interviews before the album announcement, Jimin talked very emotionally about his time during military service. He talked about the letters he received from fans that kept him going during difficult times. He talked about songs he wrote during his limited free time. He talked about his dreams for BTS's future and his renewed sense of purpose. He mentioned feeling a deeper connection to his Korean identity and wanting to explore that more through his art. All of these themes align perfectly with what Arirang represents as an album and as a concept. So for Jimin to be given the opportunity to be the visual face of this particular comeback, it's not random. It's not arbitrary. It feels like the convergence of personal growth and artistic opportunity. The fact that RM recognized this and that all the members supported it shows the deep understanding these 7 guys have of each other after more than a decade of working together, living together, growing together. They know each other's strengths, they know each other's struggles, and they know how to bring out the best in one another. The international implications of this are also really fascinating to think about. BTS has spent years building a global fan base that literally spans every continent, every culture, every demographic you can imagine. They've performed at sold-out stadiums worldwide, they've spoken at the United Nations, they've collaborated with the biggest names in Western music, and they've become genuine ambassadors of Korean culture on the world stage. With Arirang, they're making a very deliberate choice to lean into their Korean identity more explicitly than maybe they ever have before. And having Jimin as the visual center of that message carries real weight. Jimin's global popularity is undeniable. He consistently ranks at the top of brand reputation indexes. His solo music performs incredibly well internationally, and he has this ability to connect with people across language and cultural barriers. Combined with the way he embodies certain qualities that international audiences have come to associate with K-pop excellence, the artistry, the dedication, the emotional authenticity, he becomes an ideal bridge between the deeply Korean themes of his album and the global audience that's going to receive it. Music critics and industry analysts are already calling this moment a potential turning point in how K-pop groups approach creative distribution and member positioning. For years, the industry standard has been relatively rigid rotation systems or straight-up popularity-based hierarchies. But BTS's willingness to make bold, concept-driven choices about who gets prominence and when, based purely on artistic merit and narrative needs rather than commercial formulas, that sets a precedent that other groups might start following. RM's public confirmation of Jimin's central role in the music video, explained through the lens of artistic vision rather than marketing strategy, reinforces BTS's position as artists first and pop star second. What's also worth mentioning is the relationship between RM and Jimin specifically, because that dynamic adds another layer to this whole situation. If you've watched BTS content over the years, you know that RM and Jimin have this really special bond. RM has often talked about how Jimin pushes himself harder than anyone else, how he's a perfectionist who will practice until he literally can't stand anymore. There's this famous story about Jimin practicing the same move hundreds of times until he got it exactly right, even when everyone else told him it was already perfect. That kind of dedication is something RM deeply respects and admires. And you can hear it in the way RM talks about Jimin, not just in this press conference, but in countless interviews over the years. There's genuine pride there, genuine appreciation for Jimin's artistry and work ethic. For RM to publicly confirm and essentially celebrate Jimin's central role in this music video, it's not just a leader making an announcement. It's one artist recognizing another artist's ability to bring a vision to life. It's RM saying, "We created something special, and Jimin is going to show you why it's special." That level of confidence in a fellow member, that willingness to step back and let someone else shine because it serves the greater good of the art, that's maturity. That's what separates BTS from groups that might struggle with ego or competition. They genuinely want each other to succeed because they understand that when one member shines, the whole group shines. I also want to talk about the symbolism of choosing Jimin for a song called Arirang specifically. Arirang, as a folk song, has this quality of being simultaneously sorrowful and hopeful. It's about longing for something or someone, about the pain of separation, but also about the strength to endure and the hope of reunion. Jimin's artistic persona and his performance style have always carried that same duality. He can be incredibly powerful and sharp in his movements, but there's also this softness, this vulnerability that comes through. He can make you feel joy and sadness at the same time, which is exactly what Arirang as a song does. So on a symbolic level, Jimin embodying the visual center of a modern interpretation of Arirang just makes perfect sense. He is that balance of strength and vulnerability, of tradition and innovation, of past and future. Now let me talk about something that I think is going to blow everyone's mind when this music video finally drops. There have been whispers, and I mean very quiet whispers from people connected to the production, that there's a climactic scene near the end of the music video where Jimin does this absolutely breathtaking solo performance. We're talking about a full minute, maybe even longer, of just Jimin on screen with no cuts, no other members, just pure artistry. Apparently, this scene was shot in one continuous take, which is incredibly difficult to pull off, especially with complex choreography. The rumor is that they did over 30 takes to get it perfect, and Jimin insisted on continuing, even when the director said they had usable footage. That's the level of perfectionism we're dealing with here. This solo moment is supposedly the emotional climax of the entire music video, the point where all the themes converge and everything that's been building throughout the video reaches its peak. And if these rumors are true, if we really do get an extended solo sequence of Jimin at his absolute best, performing choreography that blends traditional and contemporary elements, with cinematography that does justice to his artistry, that alone is going to be worth the wait. That's the kind of moment that becomes iconic, that gets analyzed frame by frame, that gets referenced and recreated and celebrated for years to come. There's also been talk about the color grading and visual aesthetic of the music video, and apparently, it's unlike anything BTS has done before. The color palette shifts throughout the video to reflect different emotional states and different time periods. There are scenes that are almost monochromatic, very muted and subtle, that represent the past and tradition. Then there are explosions of vibrant color that represent the present and the future. And Jimin, being in nearly every scene, has to navigate all of these different visual worlds seamlessly. That requires not just technical skill as a performer, but also an innate understanding of how to adjust your energy and presence to match the visual tone of each scene. It's acting, it's dancing, it's modeling, all rolled into one incredibly demanding performance. Another thing that's got people excited is the potential for Easter eggs and hidden meanings throughout the music video. BTS is famous for creating elaborate narratives that span multiple music videos and albums, with symbols and references that connect everything together. With RM being so involved in the creative direction, and with Jimin having so much screen time, fans are already preparing to analyze every single frame for hidden meanings. Is Jimin's character in the video a representation of Korea itself, going through transformation and growth? Are the different costumes he wears symbolic of different eras in Korean history? Does his journey through different locations mirror BTS's own journey as a group? These are the kinds of questions ARMY is already asking, And the fact that we're having these discussions before the video even drops shows how deeply engaged the fan base is with BTS's art. Let's also talk about the music itself for a second, because while we've been focusing so much on the visual aspect, the actual song is obviously crucial. Based on the snippets that have been released, and what the members have said in interviews, Arirang, the title track, is supposed to be this powerful blend of traditional Korean instruments and modern production. There are supposedly elements of the original Arirang melody woven throughout, but transformed in ways that make it sound completely fresh and contemporary. Jimin's vocals are reportedly featured prominently, with at least one extended solo section that showcases his range and emotional delivery. RM has mentioned that Jimin recorded his parts for the song more times than any other BTS track, constantly refining and perfecting every single note until it was exactly what he envisioned. The synergy between the audio and visual elements is apparently something special. The music video isn't just pretty images set to a song. It's a cohesive artistic statement where the visuals and the music work together to create something greater than either could be alone. And having Jimin as the visual anchor allows for that synchronization between what you're hearing and what you're seeing. When his voice comes through in the song, you're seeing his face, his expressions, his movements. It creates this immersive experience that pulls you completely into the world they've created. As we get closer and closer to March 20th, the anticipation just keeps building. Social media is absolutely buzzing with theories, predictions, countdowns, and excitement. Pre-orders for the physical album have already shattered previous records, and analysts are predicting that the title track will debut at #1 on charts all around the world. But beyond the commercial success, beyond the record-breaking numbers, there's this palpable sense that this comeback represents something more profound. This is a statement about identity, about artistry, about the power of staying true to your roots while reaching for the stars. And at the visual heart of that statement, as RM has now confirmed, will be ParkJimin, ready to show the world exactly why he was chosen to carry this particular torch. Ready to prove once again why BTS continues to be not just the biggest group in the world, but one of the most thoughtful, innovative, and artistically ambitious acts in modern music history. I cannot wait to see this music video. I cannot wait to see how Jimin brings this vision to life. And I cannot wait to watch ARMY's reaction when it finally drops. So that's everything we know so far about RM's confirmation regarding Jimin's screen time in the Arirang music video. What do you guys think about this? Are you excited? Do you have theories about what the music video might be about? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below. And seriously, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button because we're going to be covering every single detail of this comeback as we get closer to March 20th. Hit the like button if you're excited for Arirang, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay amazing, ARMY!